I follow Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, then Baba says you're doing the right thing. Continue what you're doing. That's what Baba said.
Yeah. And Erich was very, I mean, he was part of the Ramakrishna, whatever it was, society or there
Yeah.
in Nagpur.
Mm.
They wanted him to, as a young kid, to head it up, you know.
I just looked up Ramakrishna Paramhamsa. I Googled and then I just said sayings of Ramakrishna, and I these came up. One of them is, if you must be mad, be it not for the things of the world, be mad with the love of God.
Yeah. Read some more. There be, I mean, lovely things.
Many good sayings are to be found in holy books, but merely reading them will not make one religious. God is in all men, but all men are not in God. That is why we suffer. One must be very particular about telling the truth. Through truth, one can realize God. The world is indeed a mixture of truth and make believe. Discard the make believe and take the truth.
You know, there's one that, another quote like that that Erich liked of Ramakrishna. The world is a mixture of light and dark, sugar and sand. Be an ant and take the sugar.
Oh,
That's
say
the one
that
that.
That's
again.
a great,
Huh?
Say that again, Jeff.
great one.
The world is a mixture of light and dark, sugar and sand. Be an ant and take the sugar. That's Ramakrishna. But I mean, Erich had that quote by his room there. He had a table that had a glass top, and then there were quotes underneath that glass top that he slipped in there. To behold a single blemish, here's one of the quotes from Erich: to behold a single blemish in oneself has more value than to gaze upon the thousand lights within.
Wow.
To behold a single blemish in oneself has more value than to gaze upon the thousand lights within.
So Jeff, he lived at the same time as Baba.
No, he
It-
His
passed on. He passed on about.
oh, oh
18,
no, he died right before him, 1886.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it says
but
August
Baba, you
1886.
know, he was one of the. I think Baba said something like he was one of the precursors of Baba's advent.
And you made the comment that if people read Ramakrishna, they'd believe in God.
Yeah, he just brings God right down to the like the type of metaphor he'll use is like a turtle is out swimming in the water, but all the time she has her eyes on the her eggs that are on the bank. That's the way to live in the world, you know. But, you know, do what you're going to do in the world, but always have your eye on the banks uh, for your or a maid comes and works in the a maid comes from a village and comes to the home of a wealthy family. These are the kind of things where he says, and looks after their children, and she calls my dear this child and that my dear that child, but all the time her heart is in her home in the village. Be that way in the world. And say when you plant a sapling, you put a little fence around it to protect it from animals coming and eating the leaves. But once it's into grown into a full tree, then the cattle can actually take shelter under that. So he says, in the beginning, you have to observe discipline. You know that's that fence around it. But once you kind of come into your inner self, you no longer need the fence of discipline, and people can actually take shelter in the shade under your full-grown tree. It's kind of like that. But he'll have something like you may have all of the truths from the spiritual books, but if you can't live it, it's like having a box of matches, but they're damp. No matter how you strike them, you're not going to be able to get any light. I mean, the great metaphor.
But I really like the ant and sugar thing. It's so beautiful.
The
Yeah.
what? The what?
The ant and sugar
Yeah.
metaphor
Will
is so
you
beautiful.
repeat that one? Because Terry just got back.
Yeah, the light, the world is a mixture of light and dark, sugar and sand. Be an ant and take the sugar. Take the best parts of existence, you know. You don't have to, you don't have to take all the junk food of the world. You know, there's some organic food that's a heck of a lot better for you. Any other quotes there that, Sally, that...
Here's one. He says, "The goal of human life is the realization of the ultimate reality, which alone can give man supreme fulfillment and everlasting peace. This is the essence of all religions."
See if he's got some metaphors there. The metaphors are what stick in my mind, like buttermilk. The butter is in milk. I mean, he gives this metaphor. Butter is in the milk, but you have to churn it through discipline and spiritual practice, so that you can separate the butter, so that the butter can float on top of the milks, separated.
Right. Yep. True.
God is there, but you have to kind of do the work.
Here's one. One man may read the Bhagavad Gita by the light of a lamp, and another may commit forgery by that very light, but the lamp is unaffected. The sun sheds its light on the wicked as well as on the virtuous. That's
Yeah, try to look for metaphors, like he said.
Here's one from Rumi that I liked. There is no difference between me and the beloved. We are like two lanterns set out side by side in the night. We appear to be separate, but see, our light is one. You have like a number of lights in your room there behind you, but they all just form one light. You know, the lamp doesn't have its version of light over there and the overhead light. It all gets mixed into as one light. You know, I mean, I got about 5 different lights in this room. But this lamp light doesn't stop at a certain distance, and then that light up there, overhead light, they all mix into one. There's one I like from Rumi where he says, "With a basket of freshly baked bread on your head, you go from door to door begging for a few dry crusts."
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah.
Mm.
I like these metaphors because they stick in your consciousness, and they're a whole discourse in themselves, just in one metaphor.
Mhm.
I've got a Rumi poem.
Yeah.
It's called What hurts the soul?
Oh, yeah.
We tremble thinking we're about to dissolve into non-existence, but non-existence fears even more that it might be given human form. Loving God is the only pleasure. Other delights turn bitter. What hurts the soul? To live without tasting the water of its own existence. People focus on death and this material earth. They have doubts about soul water. These doubts can be reduced. Use night to wake your clarity. Darkness and the living water are lovers. Let them stay up together. When merchants eat their big meals and sleep their dead sleep, we night thieves go to work.
Yeah. What hurts the soul not to drink the water of its own
Essence.
essence? I thought it was essence, yeah.
Yeah.
What a beautiful line. What hurts the soul not to drink the water of its own essence?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful way. I mean, just
Well.
well, I think I'll head off, and I know that Sally and Prakash are, up way past their bedtime. They're starting to mumble to themselves.
Okay.
Payam, how are you doing? Let's see how she's probably fixing dinner or doing the dishes after dinner.
Now, Jeff, I was saying that I had read this poem earlier during Arti this evening. This is Hafi's poem, and this one is the only sin I know. It says, if someone sits with me, and if we talk about the beloved, if I cannot give his heart comfort, if I cannot make him feel better about himself and this world, then, Hafiz, quickly run to the mosque and pray, for you have just committed the only sin I know.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to bug out. Good night. This has been
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you.
Mhm. Yeah.
Betty, I'll see you tomorrow morning, yeah?
What's that?
Betty,
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow
Yeah.
morning at 7:30.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't, yeah, that time comes. I just can't stay away. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy, for the song you sang. I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for asking.
thank
Hey,
you.
Baba.
And also that funny song you
Oh,
said.
yeah, I'll put it on Facebook. Dear Huey and Jeannie just yesterday, I believe, came back from India.
Oh,
Yeah, magician Huey, him. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll tell him that I sang his song. I'm it's
They let people in from India right now?
out. They've been waiting. They've been tied. They stayed there for a year beyond. They were supposed to come home a year ago. But they got their ticket and they're out. Yeah, they're home. Just on the 20th.
Betty, we could always come out. I mean, nothing stopped us because I was there. I came back in March. Even earlier, I could have come had I wanted to. So there is no problem in leaving the country because US is not stopping its own citizens as such. So
But they were supposed to come home a year ago, March, and but they
I
couldn't.
think that some of one of the reasons why people didn't come home is that they didn't want to take the risk
yeah,
of being
so
on an airplane
that's a thing.
and picking up COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I see.
Yeah.
That was the danger because
And I
Yeah.
think they probably felt safer on an airplane right now than being in India.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Yeah, they
What,
finally the balance was
B&L, who's B&L
yeah.
kind.
Oh, so I thought India had said you couldn't go, but that's not right. Then
you, you, you know, my son Sandeep was supposed to go a couple of days ago, and the airline says, well, if you want to go to India, no problem, we'll drop you there, but we won't have flights to bring you back to the US after.
Uh-oh.
so so they don't mind dumping you there, but they don't want to bring you back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
That's
they're canceling flights
oh,
for the return journey. Yeah.
I see. Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
many countries have now stopped flights from India,
right.
Yeah.
and I can't blame them.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Oh my.
Well,
Wow.
it's really funny because last year around this time, India was so much under control, and we were seeing
Oh,
cases rising in the UK, and the US was pretty bad. And now this time, it's the reverse.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well,
So bad.
there are lots of reasons for that. In
Yeah.
fact, now they just took it too easy, and
Yeah.
Are they,
uh,
Not following rules
uh,
and not putting.
yeah, there's still people. This morning I saw a couple, walking down the street, no mask on at all.
wow.
It's just, yeah, now the government is advising us to stay masked at home as well.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
well,
because
they
there's so many asymptomatic people that you just don't know who's who.
Mm.
yeah, they said on the news today that what happened with India is they went back to allowing political
Yeah. Rally.
gatherings
Oh,
and religious
yes.
gatherings, and those are kind of
Exactly.
can be real super spreaders,
They
and they
were.
all, and so it just came with a
wow.
vengeance.
Wow.
Yeah.
All the especially the religious gatherings, but a lot of political rallies and everything, I guess.
Right.
Yeah,
So
because of the elections that were going on, they gave more
yeah,
importance to that, even though the cases were rising.
yeah,
Now the public's woken up to the fact, and they're
Yeah.
questioning the government, but you can't question them.
Ooh.
well, I am going to head off to the Beyond eventually.
Same here.
Good.
Me too. All right.
We'll see everybody
That-
tomorrow.
But I'm hoping. I mean, Narsha Nalavala next Sunday.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
gonna
Oh,
share, which should be nice. Part 2,
okay.
Yep.
his teenage years and his early adult period, and how Baba related to him during that period.
Yep. Looking forward to that, Jeff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
Wonderful.
you all for the lovely
Baba, good
songs and the
Jai Baba.
readings.
Bye.
Good night. Jai Baba.
yeah. See you, Dinku.
See
you,
you.
Payam.
Bye-bye,
Jai.
Jeff.
Bye-bye.
Jai.
Thank
One.
you.
Jai
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Diane, Cherry,
Okay.
and everybody. Jai Baba.